Evening.
Amazing.
I think it's evening, right?
Yeah.
Happy Friday, TGIF. So I'm Jennifer Giltrap. I'm the Deputy Director here at Jacksonville Public Library, and thank you all for coming tonight. Did you all have a good day today?
Yes.
I heard there was no school, right?
Yes.
I had to work all day. I want one of those breaks. So we are here tonight to announce the first annual Jacksonville Youth Poet Laureate. Is it one of you?
Yes.
We've got one person who says yes, yes, all right. So as we all know that literacy in all forms are so important, from art, reading, writing, and digital literacy, it's really important that we are literate in all areas in order to succeed in today's world. That's why we have poetry workshops, book clubs, art classes for teens. We believe self-expression, gaining independency through responsibility, and having fun in a safe environment is essential to our youth. Do you agree?
Yes.
All right. Do you all participate in all of these kinds of workshops at the library?
Yes, all the time.
All right. So as you know then, our teen department provides you this place for teens to hang out, do homework, socialize, explore interests. And if you're really interested, we'd love to invite you to be part of our Teen Advisory Board. So we have that here at the main library, but several of our local libraries also have teen advisory boards. It's a chance for you to get involved, community leadership, and get involved in shaping the kinds of services and programs that are available in the library. Any of you part of the Teen Advisory Board yet? Maybe after tonight. So Laura Miner over here, she's raised her hand. If you're interested, she'll take your name and be in touch with you. We're really proud of all the work that you've done in this poetry program, and I'd like to thank each of you. But also, continue to write and continue to read. Continue to find your voice, because your voice matters. Now I'd like to introduce Tanya Smart, founder of the Jacksonville Youth Poetry Slam, who will explain the award. Tanya?
Mouth, I don't need a mic. What I need from you all is I need you to bring up that energy a little bit more.
Yeah.
When we have to say at the library, we have to call and response. So before a poet comes up to the mic, we say, "Speak, poet, speak." So we have a couple of poets who are coming up to the mic, so what I'm going to need for you to do is practice that. So before I get into what I'm going to do, I need you to practice this, and we'll do it on 3. We're going to say, "Speak, poet, speak." Are you ready?
Yeah.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Speak, poet, speak!
Let's keep that energy going. So as you said, my name is Tanya Smart. I'm the founder of Jacksonville Poetry Slam. What we're here to do is name the first Jacksonville Poet Laureate for the city of Jacksonville. I want to give you a little bit of history about Jacksonville Poetry Slam. We started just an annual event in 2004 at the Kennedy Center. We just had a slam. We wanted to give the youth poets in Jacksonville an opportunity for the competition, but more so the networking opportunity. I'm a poet myself. I've been traveling, and I had participated in slams. And when I came back to Jacksonville after traveling, I noticed that there wasn't a youth poetry scene. I knew there were youth poets, but there wasn't a vibrant scene like the ones that I'd seen in Boston, the ones that I'd seen in New York. So what we wanted to do was give them an opportunity. We have a lot of talent in the city of Jacksonville. I'm a transplant, and I'm very impressed by what we have. Would you say we have a lot of talent?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So my goal and the mission of the organization is to give you all that opportunity to spotlight your talent, give you the opportunity to voice your opinion, to be a critical thinker. So when we have our workshops, which is the product of my environment, home workshops, every Saturday at the public library, we give you an opportunity to perform your pieces, even if you want to workshop some pieces and say, is this cohesive? What are you thinking? We challenge you to live up to what you wrote. So if you say something that's a little provocative, we're going to challenge you. It's not to, rattle you or anything like that. As a writer, as an adult, you have to very much so be responsible for what you write. Don't worry about what you see out there. Sometimes you don't make them responsible and you don't make them live up to what they're writing and saying. But in this, as an artist, if we're going to prepare you to be an artist out in the real world, whatever you put on paper, whatever you perform, you need to be able to defend it, right?
Right.
That makes you a critical thinker. So, like I said, I'm going to introduce some poets coming up to the night. Some of them are former Jacksonville Poet Laureate Slam participants. So we have 3 poets who are going to come up to the mic. We have Octavia, we have Neil, and we have Caitlin. has aged out. He's an adult poet now. We took him to Washington, we took him to Atlanta, Georgia last summer, and we participated in Brave New Voices. It was a great experience. That is the National Youth Poetry Slam that is held in a different city every year. This year, we're going to DC. There's no question we're bringing the team to
Not
DC.
this weekend, thankfully.
I know. It's in the summertime.
Yeah.
It's in the summertime. So I'll give you a little bit of backstory on Brave New Voices. It's a national poetry slam and festival. It's a competition. You only spend about 2 days competing. The rest of the time is spent workshopping, spent networking. You can meet kids from Ireland, Hawaii, Washington, D.C., L.A., New York. You have the opportunity to see kids and hear kids who are like you, who are creative beings. You say, okay, you may feel a little different in the city that you live in the house that you live in. You get around all these other kids, like, wow, I fit in here, because they're creative. Yeah, you're not alone. You may think, I'm a little different. You're creative. Now you're around other kids who are creative, who really dig what you're saying. So we want to give you the opportunity to leave the city of Jacksonville, and then you actually get to go to Hawaii, Alaska, California through these artists, through their experiences. And then you get to go back to Facebook and say, I'm friending you, and then now you have a whole network outside of Jacksonville. So if that student is coming to the state of Florida, say, you know what, we have an open mic, you want to come and perform? You know, it's about networking, it's about creating creating the opportunity to have that spotlight on the youth, because you are the future, right? So that's what we're doing, we're preparing you for the future. So I've said enough.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
I've said enough. I'm going to introduce our poets, but we have to call them response, right?
Right.
Speak, poet, speak.
See, she got it. Octavia. It is speak, poet, speak. So the first poet we're going to come up to the mic is Miss Octavia. But before she comes up, we have to say,
Speak.
Yeah, we're going to do it on 3.
Oh.
We're a team. We're a team. We're going to do it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Speak, poet, speak.
Oh, wait, doesn't.
All right, I don't feel like I need a mic either. So my name is Octavia, but my poet name is OMG. Those are my initials. I am a member of Black on Black Rhyme, Jacksonville chapter, and we also have a call and response. When I say back talk, you say talk back. Back talk.
Talk back.
Back talk.
Talk back.
Back talk.
Talk back.
Do it. So I actually wrote a poem specifically for this event for our 3 nominees, for Dwight, starring Tristan. Awesome. It's just to encourage you guys, not just to encourage just the nominees, but every artist who's in here. I am an adult poet, started poetry at a young age as well. I do slams and things in other cities, and like Ms. Smart said, there's so much opportunity out there. Just keep on striving, keep on pushing, do not give up, but I'm gonna let my poem say the rest. Here you go. So you wanna be an artist. More specifically, a spoken word artist or a poet. You started writing at a young age to help alleviate the pressures of the world, or maybe you were just enticed by the words. Either way, this poetry thing kind of has a hold on you, and you like it. You may even love it. I mean, the release that you receive when the ink talks to the page, or when you pull a Drake that causes metaphors to mutate into mesmerizing melodious alliterations that mute mundane metaphors into mild meekness. The creative wittiness that forms a natural high that you refuse to climb down from. It's inspiring, alluring, addictive. But like all addictions, there will be lows. Mentally, you're stressed. Physically labored, spiritually drained, and now it feels like you're falling. You forget that you actually do know how to fly, but this unbearable pain causes you to act foolishly. Y'all, why is it that when things start getting harder, our first reaction is to quit? Is it really that simple, that easy to give up on your dreams? So if you give up on your dreams, who's gonna be you when you refuse to be the best you that you can be? Not a single iota of a soul. No one can do you like you can. And don't believe that imitation is the best form of flattery. An imitation is a mere copy A model that was based off of your voice, your art, your imagination, your creative genius. Only you can do this. No one in the entire world, past, present, or future, can do this better than you can. You are the only one who is capable of succeeding at your goals, so why sell yourself short? Why believe that you can't achieve your dreams before you even try? But they lied to you when they said that the sky is the limit. The sky can only go but so far. The sky can only go but so far before it's considered space. So how about you take your art to the galaxies? Make the cosmos tremble with anticipation every time you pick up your pad and pen. Let your pen design new constellations in the stars. Allow the heavens to hear your voice. There is power in your voice, wisdom in your words. Why should they remain unheard? Because you forgot what it feels like to fly. You may fail and you may fall, but it's going to get better. I can't promise that this will be easy, but young artists, poets, it will be so worth it. So dream, strive, work, endure, grind, write, release, perform, never hold back, and always go in, poets. Go in. That's all. Go back.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know you. Create an illusion. Oh, she's about creating that illusion. That was really nice. It was inspirational. Please give her another round of applause. Like turning off microphones again. Takes a minute to come on. That's fine. Like I told you before, I have a big mouth. I can overcome that mic issue. Thank you very much. That was a lovely poem. So the next poem we have coming up to the mic is a former member of Team Poem. That was the youth poetry team that we brought to Atlanta to compete in the Brave New Voices. He's been a participant in the workshop for 2 years. He's also a member of Black on Black Rhyme. We look for him to do amazing things in the future. So please, let's give him the call response to Neil. We're going to do it on 3. Remember what it is? Okay. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Speak, poet, speak.
Infinite art. All right, is this mic on? No. All right, I don't think I need it. So, hi guys, how you doing this evening?
Great.
So, I'm really happy to be here because, as you said, it's been about 2 years. I don't know, by my count, it's been about 2.5 years since I first came on the stage and I met a bunch of people in this room. And it's like 2 years ago, I wasn't doing this, and it's like the start of the journey. And then 2 days ago, after being and going through all of this, I got to perform on the same stage with the living legend, Nikki Giovanni.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say that I've had a lot of success so far. Like only 2 years, like I was 17 and now I'm 19 and here I am. And it's all thanks to Miss Smart.
Woo!
So I'm gonna give you guys one of my favorite poems. Is that cool?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same black on black rhyme poem response. When I say back top, y'all say talk back top.
Talk back.
Back top.
Talk back.
So this is one time in high school, right? This girl told me she thought I was cute. She thought I was cute until I opened my mouth. Like, she liked my smile, just not what came out. This might come as a shock to most of you, but I am not the smooth-talking, stone-cold player pimp I look like. I'm just really awkward. But with me, it's not your average everyday awkwardness, because I'm awkward like tripping over a flat sidewalk in public. I'm awkward like walking in on someone who forgot to lock the bathroom door. I'm awkward like that one time when you were up at 3 a.m. Facebook stalking somebody and you accidentally liked one of their pictures. I'm awkward like first impressions, like small talk indiscretions, like dorky quotes and corny jokes, while about forced laughter, and of course, I'm awkward like the silence that comes after. She said I was cute until I opened my mouth. Like, she liked my smile, just not what came out. And pretending it doesn't really hurt doesn't really work, especially when the squad is roasting and you end up the most burnt. Not everyone is going to see your work. But over the years, I've learned that it doesn't matter as long as you see it first. As long as you know full well what you bring to the table and you're prepared to sit alone because of it. Because I know I am so much more than they take me for. So much more than a first impression. And yes, I am awkward like being the third wheel on a double date. I am awkward like walking on someone who forgot to lock the bathroom door again. I am awkward like that one time you were in church and forgot to put your ringtone on silent and it starts ringing during a prayer and it's Anaconda by Nicki Minaj. I am awkward like, I am awkward. I am awkward like that silence you think the poet has forgotten his lines. I don't need to be smooth. I will seduce you with my awkwardness. I mean, how many other guys have been awkward this year? If you're not into that, my awkwardness is but one patch on the quilt, one brick in the house that I have built, one line in my very long-winded speech, one grain of sand in my beats like we are to each other initially is but one fish in my sea, is but one star in one solar system in my galaxy, and I am one of a kind. My awkwardness might be a flaw, but it's mine and I own it. So, what do you say? As I get to know the guy behind the awkward moment. Thank you.
Okay. We have to summon you. Okay, so the last part we have coming up before we have the three finalists perform their pieces and introduce themselves is Caitlin. Caitlin's been with us for 2 years, coming to the workshops. We hope to bring Caitlin to great voices in DC, if not as a competitor on a team, just so that we can have an additional group leave Jacksonville, go to DC. It's a beautiful city. I love it. I think it's the only city that has free museums.
That's where I just moved from.
It is so beautiful. If you go to, the Lincoln Monument, you want to cry. It is just one of the most beautiful cities and all of the history there. And there won't be any snow, it'll be hot. But compared to Jacksonville, nothing is hot. So we'll be Listen, I had a friend who said, oh, it's so hot. Wait till you get here. I said, really? Really? It's hot by 9 a.m. in Jacksonville in August. So you do not scare me. All right, so let's get back on track. So we have our last poet coming up. We're going to do our poem response. Speak, poet, speak. We're going to do it on 3. We're going to go a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3.
Speak, poet, speak.
Ready, Caitlin?
Okay, hello. So I'm going to perform a new poem that I was just over there writing, which is why I was the only one with my head down.
New work.
So I just wrote this today, and I'm hoping that it will inspire some people to think about themselves differently, although it does use an animal as a metaphor, kind of compare it to other people a bit. So this I'm calling the wolf. The big bad wolf, the wolf in sheep's clothing, the one who ain't read, the one who fooled the shepherd, the ones you think set a path for everyone after. When most think of wolf, the only thing that comes to mind is negativity. Nothing about the pride and the dignity. Wolves are more than purely full of tyranny. Remember, they keep family top priority. When you think of wolves, you only think of violence, the lone wolf associated with sadness instead of the silence. When I think of wolves, I think of the fact that the family values the pack, the beauty of the loner, the fierceness and the bravery the animal possesses, and the love and caring which they act on. Did you know that wolves, they love forever? Did you know how much they care for each other? Well, did you even know the lone wolf can stand unshaken as though it's 20? The strength, the pride, the respect, the love, the willingness to stand when they know that they are going to fall. These are the things that I remember. When I think about the tiger, the lion, the bear, physically I know that they are stronger. But think about this next time. The wolf has never performed in the circus.
All right. Wow, that was definitely worth waiting for. Thank you so much. I will be expecting to hear that home again at workshop. Just saying. So let me tell you how we got here in terms of the Jacksonville Poet Laureate. Last February, I went to San Francisco, part of the Speaks program. We have a leadership cohort where we have leaders of nonprofit organizations that either cater to youth in the arts, could be poetry, could be theater, anything like that, or writing. And they invite you, you have to be invited. And they're throughout the United States. And we met in San Francisco, and it was great. You didn't leave the hotel room. I mean, you didn't leave the hotel. So they set it up where you're staying in this hotel, Sir Francis Street, and you're going downstairs and you're in meetings all day. And they're feeding you the whole day, thinking it's great. But at some point you're thinking, I would like to go outside and see San Francisco, please. Which is a beautiful city. Very hilly. Did not know that. I knew they said it was hilly, but not like that. And you're walking up. Yeah, I told the gentleman at the hotel, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna walk to see the bridge, you know. It's mine. It's only 5 miles. 5 miles is nothing on flat land. So I started walking. I said, no, he was so right. Because he gave me this look. Like, okay, if you say so. I'll show you in a couple minutes. He saw me in a couple minutes. Yeah, typical tourist, you know. Used to walking on flat land. So we were there for a couple of days, and it was great. I was able to connect and network with other leaders of nonprofit organizations, and this gentleman named Michael Sorello. He is the founder of Urban Word, which is similar to what we do here. He does it in New York City. I met him probably about 7 or 8 years ago, one of my youth poets. His name was Peanut at the time. He actually worked at the library. He goes by Jade Army. He had participated in Raven Voices, Team Shattered Thought, and now he's an MC. He actually won a contest. And, yeah, he won a contest, and he's traveling throughout the United States performing his poetry. He lives in Brooklyn now. He invited me. I was in New York City with a friend, and he said, why don't you come up to Manhattan? There's a workshop. I would love to introduce you to everyone. And I go there, and I walk in there, and it's 7 o'clock at night in Manhattan on a Wednesday night, and the room is packed. And the room is packed. And there I see Willie Perdermo facilitating the workshop. I love Willie Perdermo. So I walked in the room, and I'm just in awe. And all the kids that are sitting there, quiet. He's talking, they're quiet. Everybody has a notebook. And he says, does anybody want to recite anything home? Everyone's raising their hand because they want to do it. And we have that here. We want to make sure that we create workshops and events where you want to be there, where you can participate. It's not a bunch of adults standing up here talking and telling you what you need to do. This is our actual organization, our programs. There's flexibility. So we may, say, okay, here's the mission of the program or of the actual event. But you guys, it's nothing without you. So it's your opportunity to tweak it to the way that you want it, to a certain extent. To a certain extent. Because like I said, the rules are no profanity, no sexual content. We don't want to hinder anybody's artistic expression. So if you do use profanity in a poem, we're going to ask you why it's there. Not because we think that it should, but if you're going to use certain language, even if it's a word that I may have to look up, we're going to ask you why it's there. Are you using it just because, it's the new word? I used to be a person who would look at a word in a dictionary and say, you know what, I'm going to use that word. I'm going to use it in a poem. I used it in a poem, and for about 5 years, I said it incorrectly. And so I was taking, what is the word? Oh, cacophony. Cacophony. I was saying cacophony. And it was cacophony. So the teacher was reading the poem, and she read it, and I was like, oh, I feel this way. All these years, nobody stopped me. There were English teachers in the room, and I was performing, and they didn't stop me. Look at like So we were at the workshop in San Francisco. Michael stood up and he introduced himself. He also partners with, what is the other group that's in Chicago that has that youth, National Youth Poetry Slam? They go into the schools.
Wait a second. It's
Louder Than the Bomb.
Young
LTAB. Louder Than the Bomb. If you have a chance to review that documentary, it is great. It's when they have the citywide slam. I'd like to do that here in this city of Chicago, which is why is Chicago important to us?
Because
Poets? Poets?
because this.
Slammers? Slammers?
Because that was the birthplace of slam.
Thank you. Go home. It is the birthplace of slamming, and they started this program called Louder Than a Bomb, and all of these high schools compete against each other, and it's a documentary where they follow the kids from the beginning of the school year, and they're going into their homes, and it's not one of those feel-good documentaries where they're trying to end it like a Hollywood movie where everything ends up fine. This is real life, and this is what these kids are dealing with. And in the midst of all of that, they're making beautiful art. So I think they're introducing that program down south. We would love to do something like that here as well. But he got up and spoke and he said, here's a book of poetry. This is our youth poet laureate. We actually met her in Atlanta, and he said, we would help you bring this into your city. Is anybody here interested? I was like, yeah, I'm interested. He said, here's my card, let's talk after. And I came back, I remember emailing Laura, and I said, I'm flying in on Friday morning, let's meet at 9 o'clock. I got in at like 8:15, and I come from the airport. Now, I slept on a plane because it's California, and I'm running into the building, my hair's sticking out. Laura, would you be interested in doing this program? I think it's the best. I said, yes, would you like to take a breath? Maybe. So first thing I had to do was reach out to the library, see if this is something that they would support. Because one of the caveats to that was that you would have to partner with a civics or a local community organization, because we don't want it to be just an art program. You're going to be performing poetry, but we want you to be out in the community. We want you to have the opportunity to speak in the community, to be more involved in the community, and not just in your poetry. When you're in your world, there's a bigger world out there, and we want you to be out there in that world existing. So I spoke with Lori, and we got the ball rolling. And part of the criteria was the application. We extended the deadline so that we can get more applicants. We had been speaking with students at schools and community organizations for a couple of months, and really got a lot of interest. And we wanted to extend that out. So you know what? We have the time. We'll just spend the whole day just looking at the applications. And there's an application process where we ask you, of course, age, because it was open to students who were between the ages of 14 and 18. And just want to know about your volunteer experience. And then, of course, we asked for your poetry. And there were some beautiful submissions. Just very talented young men and young women. Got to the point where we were reading it and just thought to yourself, I just need to throw away my notebook. And, when you hear a poem that's that good, you just want to throw away your notebook, or you just want to burn it. And very excited. This is the first year. I intend on doing it continuously. I think that Jacksonville can easily be on the map in terms of the youth poetry and in terms of the kind of talent that we have in the city. We want to expand it, and we want to do bigger and better events. I would love to do something similar to Baby Voices. When we have a festival where the youth poets come out, and we'll have workshops, and we'll make it worth everyone's while. But it has to be supported by everybody. So let me tell you about the 2 finalists. So we have 3 finalists. So we have Star Brown, we have Dwight James, and we also have Tristan. And we decided to spotlight those 3 because they were the 3 finalists. Initially, we said we would just have to announce the finalists and announce the winner, and that will be it. But I said, why not introduce their poetry? Let you hear what we were able to experience. You can experience this as well. Very talented young men and young women. And once you get that chance to just come up here before they introduce you to who they are. They're going to be around for a while. Maybe not Dwight, because he's graduating from high school. He may leave. I hope he leaves. My choice. My choice was college. No pressure. Don't make us proud, definitely. So here's the order that we're going to go. It's going to be Star, then we'll have Dwight, and then we'll have Tristan. They'll give you an introduction, just a small bio of who they are, and they'll recite 3 poems. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Start here? Okay, so you have a poem response. You guys going to do it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, we let the energy go. So let's get back. So on 3, we're going to do speak for Miss Tristan. Are you ready, Tristan? I'm sorry. Star. I'm hungry. And it's like that Snickers commercial. So, get that energy going. So, we're going to do Speak, Poet, Speak on 3. And we'll have Star come up, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Speak, poet, speak.
Alright, so please.
I'm Star, everywhere. Not really much I want to say about me first. Just been writing for like a really long time. Pretty much as long as I can remember. I didn't really like get serious about it until about 4th grade. And like now, like a really strong passion. The first poem I'm going to read, I actually wrote for Dwight and another friend of mine. Hanakatoba, the Japanese word for applying symbols and meaning to flowers. A person can only walk through so many gardens. Some will be more beautiful than the others. Many people don't particularly enjoy the activity. There's so much disappointment found within a walk through a garden. The flowers may not be bright enough and their colors aren't appealing to our eyes. Some may find the garden too small, while others may find a flower or two too big. People could be so focused on the looks of a garden that they forget to take a whiff of the sweet smell. Never mind the smell, for these flowers have meaning. The black-eyed Susan urges you to go on no matter what. Daisies here and there are always there with their love that stays. Each apple blossom with a promise that will surely be kept. The star of Bethlehem sending its hope along your walk. Some flowers always pointing you to light. In your hand is a daffodil. All it takes is one blow and you'll be born again. And iris throughout the walk to keep hope and creativity alive. These pink tulips that care, these white chrysanthemums always up for truth. Gladiolus remind you of your wrongs and how to make them right. The larkspur showing you how to love yourself. Pink and yellow roses all to show how much the flowers appreciate your attention. In the end of it all, you'll be embraced by forgetting not, so be sure the walk stays alive in your heart. And when you look back, you'll see nothing but pink carnation, standing for the gratitude you've obtained. Maybe you'll come to visit this garden again. Or maybe you'll find it worth sitting down and take it all in just a while longer. You may start your own in your yard, or like me, you'll come to find this garden means everything. Everything that you are, everything that you will be, everything that you hope to be, and everything you know. All surrounded by this lovely garden. You'll decide that a walkthrough is not enough. It won't be enough to sit and take it in just a while longer. Here, the air is always fresher. Here, the grass is always greener. You'll learn to understand and appreciate these flowers beyond their colors and scent, for their meaning becomes everything. And finally, you'll realize that there's no place like it. And like me, you'll start calling it home. Home, right there in this lovely garden, with a vase of yellow roses, Peruvian lilies, daisies, and chrysanthemums sitting in your window, so the garden can see you're here to stay. This next poem actually goes to my mom. Battle cry. I wrote a poem I thought she should hear. No, I don't want to hear it. She would say like a bullet. It shot at me like a call to war. I said a word, firing back. And she would run with her chills to cover my mouth. I don't care what you have to say right now. The words went off like a grenade she threw with the arm I put a bullet in. Shut up, she shot back, covering her ears from the loud explosion. The shot hit me right in the heart, but I kept firing. Tape it shut, somebody tape it shut. She She commanded the army to bring peace. No more tape, no more confining my voice. A cannon exploded in her face, blowing off her tongue, and after years of a caged voice, I screamed for my freedom. Sick of conversations that I had no part in. The bars of the cage all fell down, and my voice howled for victory. She sent in an army, but I would not be silent. I broke every hand that grabbed my tongue and locked it in that cage. Any voice that told me to shut up fell apart and vanished. She stood, unable to scream for her life as her kingdom burned down in flames. From scream, to talk, to whisper, to silence. She had no hands to cover her ears, and the word came out like a victorious roar. From word to pen to paper, straight to scream, I was done talking. She never listened that way. I had to make her hear every word that ever was locked down. And when I finished my poem, she was left in tears. I bowed, then turned and walked right off the battlefield. Not even gonna give an introduction for the platform. I'll just let her do all the talking. Teacher, I will love. He said for his heart to write 100 times. So y'all teach him a lesson. Back when he was in school, he was taught to hate. But he only learned the exact opposite. The lesson was love. He used his mother as a practice sheet, his dad as homework, my mother as a study guide, and I was the final exam. If he could pass me, then he passed the class. He learned the lesson. It wouldn't be easy after he lost the study guide. He was like most kids, never did his homework. And he never scored too high on the practice sheet either. So everything in his mind said he was failing the exam, failing the class, failing the lesson to love. So he punished his heart like a teacher. A warning, you better learn. Call home, he better learn. Detention, you're not learning. Referral, you're not going to learn. Suspension, you're never going to learn. Then his heart was expelled. The teacher was silent. The chalk stopped writing on the board. The red pen stopped grading papers. He didn't learn. He didn't pass. He doesn't know how to love. Maybe I should have told him that he passed. From the moment he held me in his arms and I cried and said, it's okay. From the moment he walked in before I took stage and said, you got it. From the moment he stood over me as I struggled to make sense of words, saying over and over, sound it out, say it like you mean it, you got it. From the moment he put his finger to my chin, lifted it up into the sky and said, chin up, darling. From the moment he stepped out with no weapon, ready to fight for me and said, I got you. From the moment he gave all he had to see me smile and said, I miss you so much. From every moment I came to him and told him more of my imperfections and he said, I love you. And as if that's something of proof, today I am a graduate of one of the most prestigious schools, whereas he was valedictorian. I am in front of the class sharing a laugh with my students and the other teachers are asking, who taught you that? Where did you learn to do that? How did you know that? With my arms open to them, walking in before them, standing over them, my finger to their shins, stepping up to fight for them, giving my all to them, and loving their imperfections, I say, my dad was my teacher.
So now you see what we were dealing
Now I
with,
see
right?
why I wanna quit.
Very talented young woman.
That made
That
me
was
wanna
nice.
quit. Look.
I know. At that age, writing like that, right?
So the
So that was great. Let's give her a round of applause. So the next poet's come up to the mic is Dwight James. I met Mr. James when he was in middle school at DuPont. During one of the after-school poetry workshops. It was part of the team up, right? I think Karen Love Brains is a friend who's a poet. She was a workshop facilitator at the time. She said, come to my class. I I'd love to just, you to meet the students, perform a couple of pieces, and then I see this young man sitting in the corner just smiling. It's like this. If you've ever seen it, this is supposed to be, and before I can say anything else, he comes over, he's like, hi, how are you? And I've known him ever since. I've seen him at a lot of community events, very active in the community, and then, of course, at the poetry workshops. And he had a chance to go to Brave New Voices a few years ago, which is great. So he was one of our top 2 finalists, and I would love for him to come up here and perform 3 of his pieces. But before he comes up, I've got to do the call and response. So on 3, I'm going to say the poet speak. 1, 2, 3.
Speak, poet, speak.
She made me feel old right there.
Really?
She said,
Yeah.
oh, she made me feel old. She said, I knew this kid since middle school. All right. First poem I'm gonna do is called Not the Right Tone. My only sister, Courtney, a character. 13, reach for grown, has too many bottles of nail polish. 260 gold silk, 38 rubber blonde, 510 marvelicious, 415 totally toffee. Yeah, that was right. 415 totally toffee, every shade brighter than her. My sister knows not of the brush embedded in her tongue, of the acetone she makes with every word. She is mud ebony by nature, a blazing yellowstone by pressure. She changed her nail color, everything except black, but when she paints them, she does it by my room, so she can get the right lighting. I don't care about the polish, just as long as it stays on her toes and in the bottle. The first stain was on a pair of my socks. Striped red, blue, yellow, and green, interrupted by a brown streak. The second was on the carpet, and remove it didn't remove anything. The third was on the walls of my room. Flick specks of 107 seafoam bubbled on my clothes like stains, like rage, grew up off, like polished on skin. Scrubbed for hours for removal, more removal for removal, because it's not bright enough. It doesn't illuminate her black enough. Her tantrums are just a bluff, and when she called me nigga, I threw out my room. Hands and feet nasty and incomplete. My sister hates being home. There's not enough nail polish, not enough gel, not enough acrylic to cover that word. This shade is out of stock, like a wish, half a field. Polished fumes reek aimless. Taking colored glass bottles with a reflective mirror. My sister is the best artist in the house. Always smearing over the truth, keeping each color separate. Lights always in front of darks. Etching each missketching, just start all over again. My sister can do everything she think will work, but it won't. Because I do this for her, 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 I do this for her. Girls like her wear nail polish for the look, not the compliments. She doesn't have to do anything else to make herself better than who she already is. So as of today, she can put the brush down. That actually happened too. Stain's still on the wall. I don't know who gonna paint it. All right. This is American Pageant. There's a test on slavery. I sit by the door and flip through the book to find hope between the pages. I know about how Columbus stole a maruca from the natives, but I wonder how he peered through Caribbean waves to find the murky Everglades. I know about the yellow-brown stains from the ships traveling the triangle, but not how they boarded. Steel chains, choking bent necks, snapped wrists, cherry ankles, marching, the flank groaning with every step. I know that Washington's men fell overboard while dragging cracked oars against the dirt slush currents in Delaware, but I do not know how Nat Turner's rebellion began, only that his master scraped him off his boots. I know that British and American men were mutilated in the American Revolution, but I do not know who died while riding the Underground Railroad. Dogs separating jugulars from throats with dagger teeth, or bullet shells in the grave, and a newborn skull being wrapped in his mother's arms. As I take my test, face deep, palm searching like the Pacific Ocean, I stop and breathe. My teacher peers over my quarters. She continues on, pale as Mayflower. And I continue. The bare pages of mine, bleached as black stains. And then I'm about to be a cell phone poet.
Cell phone poetry.
Yeah, you can go through this too. Emmett Tamir. Emmett, your mother didn't get to see you past 14. Tamir, your mother didn't get to see you past 12. Emmett, they laid you out under a ditch. Tamir, they laid you out on top of a ditch. Emmett, they ripped back your scalp like a tangerine. Tamir, they ripped through your scalp like a tangerine. Emmett, Tamir, y'all boys are so far apart, but so close that y'all live the same life and die the same death. Emmett was lynched for being 12. Tamir was shot for being 12. Emmett didn't mean any harm. Tamir didn't mean any harm. Emmett made it back in pieces. Tamir made it back in pieces in a casket, in a body bag, in a newsroom, in his mother's arms. Emmett was mistaken for a bachelor. Tamir was mistaken for a toy soldier. Emmett wasn't ready to die. Tamir wasn't ready to die. Emmett wasn't ready to die. Tamir wasn't ready to die. Emmett wasn't ready. Tamir wasn't ready to. Emmett and Tamir, two black boys slain for being kids, for growing up, for stepping out of line. Emmett and Tamir are on two different timelines, but have experienced the same murder. Which is worse, a noose or a barrel? They're both holes used to strain the life out of anything, out of Emmett, out of Tamir, out of Emmett and Tamir. What's the difference in a black boy dying then and now if they're both dead? Emmett was afraid. Tamir was afraid. The men who killed them were afraid. Emmett wasn't in the land of the brave. Tamir wasn't in the land of the brave. Emmett and Tamir, I was once your age. I remember being a little boy. But the both of you will be remembered as little boys that didn't know how to tame their toys. Y'all were young black boys that didn't hit puberty, but were seen as threats to your society. Emmett, Tamir, y'all would not be another pair of twins on a noose. Emmett, Tamir, we will still fight for you. Emmett, Tamir, we will not give up on you. Emmett, Tamir, there will never be another black boy killed like you. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you very much. Give me another round of applause. So we said,
It's a round of applause.
we're gonna do that. That's the new thing for workshop.
A round of applause.
That is so great. I didn't even hear that. I'm sorry. I was just slamming.
I looked up and you were doing this. So we said cell phone poetry because we have workshop, the youth poetry workshop, so we also have a couple adults in there as mentors. And if, I'm not gonna say my age, I don't,
You hold down on me.
Come on.
we discussed this. So, I don't write poetry on my phone, and that's usually, I see some poets my age doing that, but for me, I'm just so old school, I need to write it down. I love feeling a newspaper, reading a newspaper. It's hard for me to look at a screen for long periods of time. I do that at work. I don't want to do that in my personal life. So when I write, I have to see it on the page. And when it's complete, then I'll type it in. I'll read from the page for so long, and then I'll be have it memorized and I'll perform it. So we like to joke around. We clown in the workshops. It's not that serious. It's as serious as we want it to be. We're serious about our art, but we're there on a Saturday for 2 hours. So people are committed, but we want to have fun. So we do a little bit of clowning. So we had people going up reading their poems on their phone. So we said cell phone poetry. So if someone goes up there on their phone, we automatically say cell phone poetry in unison. So just wanted to let you in on our little secret. It's not a secret any longer. So the third finalist that we have coming up to the mic looks super serious right now. is Tristan. I don't want to murder your name, your last name, so when you come up, you can, tell me what your last name is, and next time I come up here, I will recite it and say it correctly. So the last one we have coming up to the mic is Tristan. Miss Tristan is, she's gonna tell you who she is. She's one of the poets at Stanton and part of the Expressionists. I know Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight used to travel and recite poetry, so he produces good products. So we've had a lot of Expressionists come through here and the slam. Remember the year you were here, it was nothing but Expressionists, you know? It was nothing but, out of the 12 poets, I'd say probably 9 were Expressionists. Desiree, he wasn't there. No, it was like Desiree, it was the twins. So they eventually became Black on Black Line. So the last one we have coming up tonight is Tristan. She's going to do an introduction, do her bio, then she's going to perform her poems, and then we'll have some more poetry, and then we'll announce the winner, and I'll tell you what that entails, what the winner will get. So on 3, we're going to do Speak Poet Speak. 1, 2, 3.
Speak, poet, speak.
I'm doing this when I'm talking about this.
Oh, we don't round this
My name
shit.
is Sophia Michelle, and I'm a sophomore at Stanford Health Surgery School, and I'm a member of the Expression Lab, she said. I represented stand-up the Poetry Out Loud competition at the state last year, and I performed at the Riverside Arts Market. And I also volunteer with this group called KTAC, stands for Kids Together Against Cancer. And what's really cool about that group is that we bring together these families, and I work with these kids who have parents or know people in their families who've been diagnosed with cancer, and we use art as a form of expression. So they do art projects, and we come and we talk, and it's really cool. Okay, this first poem I wrote last year, or 2 summers ago actually, and it was right before my grandfather passed away. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's like a couple months before he died. So yeah. Life's winter, they call it, as he slips from our grasp and garbles his words